On the Daily Ketchup, we talk about a lot of issues. We actually haven't really touched upon the environment.
Climate change.
Yeah.
Why is that? John Paul?
Because we don't care.
Why are climate activists so annoying? This is your Daily Ketchup.
Yikes.
For the record, I don't think you are.
My
Betray
producer made
him.
me say this.
Only human.
Hey! This episode is proudly brought to you by the National Youth Council as part of YAC, or the Youth Action Challenge. So if you guys don't know what it is, it's an annual platform. We spoke about this in several episodes. This is the 4th episode of 4 altogether, and it's basically an annual platform for like-minded youth between the ages of 15 to 35 to come together and solve issues that we are facing here in Singapore. And so there are 80 teams, over 80 teams this year, and they're all coming together to pitch their ideas to get up to $50,000 in grant money. And so for today's episode, NYC wanted us to talk about environmental and sustainability issues, which is actually something that, I mean, on the Daily Ketchup, we talk about a lot of issues. We actually haven't really touched upon the environment.
Climate change.
Yeah.
Why is that? John Paul?
Because we don't care.
Oh,
shit.
I really feel like that's a problem. Like I
Yeah.
feel like everyone knows that it's around us, but no one really does anything about it.
Actually,
I feel like we cannot see the actual impact of it.
I don't think it's just the actual impact, but I think in Singapore, I think we're very fortunate. You already see the recycle bin. It's placed everywhere for you already. It's made so convenient. You don't see the process. You just do it and then it's kind of done. Even the normal trash, right? They also have their own secondary filtering process to help with the recycling. So we are quite detached from it because it's already been made so convenient for us.
Plus, I feel like in Singapore, it also feels very green. You know, there's like plants everywhere. You don't really feel the climate change. As opposed to like overseas, you see like the
You feel it.
like the lake that you used to skate, right? Suddenly isn't that cold anymore, isn't that hot anymore. You know, that
Yesterday
kind of
was
thing.
very, very hot though. I have to
Was
say.
it?
Very, very,
I thought it
yeah.
was raining yesterday.
Huh? Oh, you see? Wow, climate change. It rained but so hot. Doesn't make sense, yeah. End of this. Oh no.
But is it not interesting how they kind of adapted the term global warming to
Yeah,
climate
yeah.
change? Because people have been saying that like, hey, at this point of
Yeah.
of history back in the day, also global warming.
There was a US senator that brought an ice ball into the
No
Senate
way.
and said, what global warming?
Yeah, I remember that's what Donald Trump used to say. Like everyone talks about global warming, but it was cold yesterday. It was colder than it was. Like, that's not the point.
I had a friend that her dad brought her to the zoo and said, if evolution is real, why are there monkeys here?
And that is a poor understanding of how evolution works.
Yes.
So I thought it was a quite interesting topic also because there was a recent article on Channel News Asia, right? Which basically talked about how because of like climate change and climate emergency and the future being so uncertain because of this, right? People are actually choosing to have don't want to have kids in that sense.
Is it because they don't want their kid to be born into a world that is climate changed?
Climate challenged.
Like they feel that it is ethically wrong to bring in children into a world that is so uncertain. Or that
Such
might
a
crumble
It's true.
in that sense.
far-sighted thought.
But it also feels like no matter what Singapore does right, like if the rest of the world, not like we are leading in any of these, we are not, right, as a country. But even if like we do our part, right, the rest of the world don't do their part, it still feels like a lost cause. And so it's like a prisoner's dilemma, game theory.
Yeah. So just to look at the numbers, right? So there was a survey done across 10 countries, and so
It's quite a big survey.
between the ages, between people between the ages of 16 to 25, so really youth. Not saying that 15 to 35 is not youth, but these are like youth, and it was a survey of 10,000 people. 4 in 10 people, so 40% of them said that they were hesitant to have children because of the climate crisis. And then in Singapore, closer to home, 1,000 people between ages of 18 to 34. 22% said that because of climate change, they were hesitant about having kids.
So interesting that it's because of climate change.
Yeah.
But haven't we always lived in uncertainty? Like 50 years ago, they were damn sure that it's
But
going
I
we definitely going to be around for 900.
Is it because our generation and the younger generation is just a lot more like woke and attuned to like all these like concerns?
Are we though? The world thought that 2012 would be the last year.
No, but that's like some
I really enjoyed that
Yeah.
movie.
It's good.
but there is a climate change deadline,
Hmm.
Many scientists do agree that by year 2050, if we don't drastically cut down carbon emissions, right, we'll go into irreversible climate
But I
change.
feel like they've been saying this line and extending that deadline though.
It's true.
But is it because we're extending deadline because things are happening?
Or is it just a way to sell us more products?
Like plastic bags but 30 cents.
It's just all a lobbying ploy.
Paper straws and metal straws that actually don't help.
That you can eat.
Sure.
Oh, my goodness. So I should mention, right, I don't know if they have it here, right, but when I was back in Malaysia, the coffee bean, right, has an edible straw now, made from like, I don't know, cassava or like something lah. It tastes like shit, but it's so addictive. Like it's like almost like a breadstick. And so even before I was halfway down my drink, right?
You no more straw.
Like the straw was too short that it went through the whole. Like,
Have you all seen McDonald's new cup caps?
yes.
I love that.
Yeah.
I love that.
That was a great
As opposed to
experience.
saying no more straws, suck it out, right?
That's
It-
KFC just take
Then
away
you're
the
like, what
entire
the
cup.
heck?
No, but I think there's a lot of people also who feel like, and I don't think it's wrong, that when they say, hey, we're not going to do straws anymore, like, because of the environment, it's also for them to save costs, lah. Because they're not going to charge you 10 cents cheaper just because they don't give straws anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, but to be
But
fair,
it's-
they sell you the drink, they're not selling you the. You know what I mean?
But it's a win-win for everyone. They save money, the earth save itself.
And we all get obese. Yeah.
Wait, what?
That's great.
No wait, there was a time whereby I don't use straws also until I read something about like dental hygiene, right? That if you drink like sweet drinks and then you don't use straw, you're like 40% more likely to develop like some dental
Destroy your
problems.
teeth.
Yeah, because the sugars go into and around your teeth as opposed to the straw would just go to the back of your throat.
So you're a straw user.
I'm a straw user, but I have bamboo straws at home lah.
Wow.
And his straw is reusable.
Look at you.
Since episode 1.
Oh,
fail.
Real talk.
Look at you.
What old cup?
It's from Starbucks in case anyone's curious.
Okay, but anyway, like growing up, right? Have you all actually been like into this whole like I'm gonna be green, I'm gonna be more environmentally conscious and all that kind of thing?
I am super into disposables. Like I believe in everything I eat already wrap and throw.
You love it,
I
right?
love it. That's
Yeah.
But then sorry lah. So but Deanna's mom is completely she's very green. Like I drink the Milo, right? Then she will want to ask me to keep the can. Or
Oh,
sometimes,
wow, that's
right,
great.
I throw inside the bin already because she's sleeping ma. Then I throw inside the bin already. The next day when I go over,
Then
right?
it's twing.
Yeah,
appear
it's in the sink.
Right,
Yeah, it's
right.
washed.
Huh? Wait, wash?
Yeah, she take from the dustbin, then she will wash it so that we can recycle it.
Oh, I thought you were gonna reuse the cans. Yeah.
that's so good.
Yeah,
Oh.
like, I was shocked.
I feel like that's the thing that a lot of people don't know. So is that when you put something into the recycle bin, right, it
Yeah.
should be clean.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
don't
yeah.
throw your rubbish.
No, my mom also does the same thing. And then like it's to the point where I'm washing disposable containers and I'm questioning what I'm doing. Like, wait, what?
I don't even just eat it.
Yeah,
Eat the
it's
damn
so
container.
weird.
and just settle it.
Yeah, no, I'm quite similar to Denise. Like, I order so much takeout, right, that there's sometimes, like, cause lunch and dinner, right, then I just look at my floor and I'm like, shit, there's a lot of disposables. And also, this brings me to a story, right, when I think we were in our old office and, like, Chow used to work for us, right? She's super green and, like, she really, like, until now, right? So we used to all like go together for lunch, tap out, and then there's just a whole bunch of waste at the end of the day, right? And so I remember her first day or second day or whatever, right? She came all like to us, right? And said, hey guys, how about we all go green and bring our own containers? And like she gave us a full 5-minute speech about going green, right? And then all of us just went, no lah. It's okay. And gave up. She gave up after like 1 week.
No, but she tried for
She
a long
really
time.
But was
tried.
that like the height of everyone starting to use their own reusable stuff?
I think it was around that time, like 3-4 years ago.
When the tortoise was famous lah.
Yeah.
The sea turtle, sorry.
Because
yeah.
of the 6-pack keg thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Then
They keep using
stuck
the image. Then they pull the straw out of the nose of the turtle, all that. Then okay lor, cool. You eat turtle before? No lah, kidding. Sorry.
But nice.
Whoa.
out. We're not condoning.
Yeah, yeah.
And
There's nothing wrong with eating turtle, yeah.
No,
Wait,
so I feel like I fall under the tribe of Singaporeans that kind of like I believe in climate change, right?
Yeah.
Like, I
Mm.
believe that the global is warming and
Agreed.
everything. But then like because I don't think
Sus.
I am that far fetched to see like, oh, I want to create a better environment for my children, or like this earth is going to be no more. So it's not as tangible for me yet, which is why I feel like I don't really do anything about it.
Interesting that you should mention that. So I recently watched a video by Vox, and it was so like it was one of the first, like the most recent ones that I went, oh shit, I really want to cling to this, which was what, why don't we talk about the ozone layer anymore? Because I remember, because I remember being in like I think kindergarten, right, and it was like
The biggest deal.
ozone layer, guys, we need to fix this, we need to put on sunscreen, it's going to be a problem, right? And it was fixed so quickly, like to the point where it's mending
it's fixed
itself.
already?
No, it's
Yeah.
mending itself, but it's on track to be not
Huh?
a non-problem anymore.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's they poke one hole, right?
Yeah.
Then keep getting bigger, right?
Yeah,
Then we closed it.
Closing.
it's closing.
By
Nice.
stopping
We
the
did
usage of
something,
CFC.
guys.
Huh.
So basically, they were talking to scientists about how did we manage to fix it, because we are having a problem to solve global like warming, climate change. And basically, there was 3 key aspects for its success, which I have now at timestamp 4:59. If you guys want to watch, right? It's because
Wow.
the ozone layer problem was personal, it was perceptible, but the solutions were practical.
Again with
So,
the
like,
this kind of stuff.
the PPP,
Alliteration.
right? So like
PPP.
it's personal because it will affect you. It's not something that will affect like other people around
Right.
you.
Yeah.
It's perceptible. You can feel it.
Like skin cancer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There were people that were getting more like like melatonin or whatever.
Right.
Melatonin is not the word. But
Melanin.
melanin, like, and skin cancer. But the solution was very practical. Companies just needed to swap using CFC for something else, which was
And
like,
there are readily available alternatives.
Chlorofluorocarbon.
Something like that.
Hey
something
bro,
like that,
science,
something
primary school science.
Mr.
yeah,
Bill Nye,
boy.
the
like
science
that.
guy.
Mr. Samsung.
Hey, close your refrigerator. Hey, off your aircon. Correct.
so apparently
Ozone
like,
saved.
within 1 year, right? Within 1 year, majority of products that were using CFC managed to swap out.
Yeah.
Stuff.
The cans, right? You cannot use spray can also,
Spray,
right? Hey.
fridges, that kind of thing.
Wow,
And it was quite
educated,
interesting
sia.
because everyone was so united. Like in the US, for example, both Republicans, Democrats all agreed that this was a problem.
Right.
You didn't have social media where it was creating echo chambers, right? Like this was the early 90s where you only got your news from one source and then everything was
When
very
things
clean.
were simpler.
Yeah, and then now we
Good
have
times,
climate change where there's so many disagreements. People feel like it doesn't exist, and then you have an echo chamber that says, yeah, it doesn't exist together.
Yeah.
And, like,
Conspiracy theories.
Yeah, or like people that say like, if we do anything sustainable, it's anti-business, for example.
No,
And
people are saying that it's actually, what if this is just a natural cycle of Earth? Like it's a natural purging. So we just need to go through this, like another mini ice age. They've even like have documentations to try and prove
Yeah.
that we've already experienced a mini ice age in our time.
And
we
like,
just
this
didn't.
is not the hottest time
Yeah.
of the Earth. also.
Yeah, things like that lah.
But we are going to be though. Like I think at the recent COP26 they said that we overshot the temperature increase that we wanted to limit.
Right.
At, yeah. So if we hit the 2 degrees, right, then it's the irreversible part.
Right.
If we had
A lot of
2
people are
degree
complaining about it also, the COP thing.
increase, they say no use.
They say everybody's just going there to agree together and make promises, but then there's no like action.
It is
Yeah.
true
They're not
though.
seeing action.
Because
It's
there's no
true.
first mover advantage in this also, I believe. Unless you create an industry out of it, or you create a technology or innovation out of it. Like the states.
Like
right? Which,
EVs.
like states are producing the solution, yet also the most major cause of the problem. They
Mm.
take up like 20% of the entire world's power grid, right?
Yep.
Yeah, but they are coming out with a solution, and so they get to profit from it.
Yeah.
Because countries that want to do it then will then invest in their solutions. But for countries like us, honestly, there's no first mover advantage. And so we go back to what we talked about in the previous episode, right? That it cannot feel like a sacrifice. It must feel like every party had something to gain from this entire process. And I think this is why it makes it the hardest and probably the most challenging one to tackle here.
I think it's also the sacrifice, right? Because if we really look at it on a large scale, there are probably going to be industries that might have to fire a lot of people, a lot of jobs being lost and all that kind of thing. Just if you really want to like for the greater good lah, right? And then like certain countries will have to sacrifice more than others, which will affect their economy and so many other things that they have to factor into
But so it's
consideration.
like a mass reskilling of workers, right? Because it's not like the jobs will be gone, it's just that the jobs will be different.
Yeah.
Yeah lah, but then that's simple to say, very difficult to implement
Yeah,
ma.
yeah.
Especially when you leave it to like one or two big countries like India or China to go and suddenly do this.
Yeah.
And then they have all these other goals, economic goals, social goals and whatnot, right?
There's a lot of inertia lah. Because like say for example, even if you're an individual and you spend 25 years working in a plastic factory and to suddenly say like, hey, we now have to reskill you, it's so much easier to just say, no lah, let's just keep this industry alive lah. Why do you want to do this?
Yeah.
And then like you talk about the unfairness of how like developing countries now are being told that they can't go through the steps that all these developed nations went through
Yep.
because of the cost on the environment.
So funny, that
Did
we
you
are
used
trying to
to-
compete and like get ahead of each other. Or there are other goals that are conflicting with basic human survival. You know?
Yeah.
It's
and
so
we
weird.
prioritize that.
Yeah, like we need to make more money. Yeah, we need to be a stronger nation versus we might not exist if we meet that goal.
Like suddenly like racial harmony a bit more important. Like,
Yeah. Damn weird.
Because one you can immediately see, right?
Maybe. Or one just benefits everybody, but to yourself maybe less.
So I was listening to an audiobook, right, that talks about something like this, on why we procrastinate and why do we prefer to do things that we can see the results now. And part of the whole thing is the ability to outsource it to a future self, or the ability to outsource to a future generation. So it will be something that will always plague in whatever like long-term thing that we are doing. I don't know how to conclude that.
No, but on that note, I think if I'm not wrong, in the same article that Dan brought up initially, right, I think Biden mentioned how this decade, right, is a very decisive, it's going to be a very decisive decade for the rest of our lives already lah. So there's no more outsourcing already. because you outsource, right, it's too late already. But then at the same time, this is the generation that is coming up now is looking for jobs, is looking to like develop their career, to grow businesses and such, right?
Especially
So
for
that there's
developing
conflict.
countries that also want to be a developed country.
Yeah.
And the people that are telling them to stop are people that already squandered the earth's resources to be developed.
Yep.
They went through it all.
So then do you all
Say
think
people, but it's actually one country.
so then do you all think that like if we shift the conversation a little bit, right? Do you think it's more down to the individual or to like the organizations and whatnot to
I think
make these
organizations
changes?
need to give the mandate that like this is the way we will be moving, then everyone will follow. Or maybe it's that just a Singapore thing.
No, because I think at the end of the day, a lot of this is related to our consumption, right? So then, are the consumers the one that needs to demand it, or do the companies the one that need to take the step forward? Because you take something like KFC, for example, right? They decide, okay, we don't want straws, but I don't think there were enough people saying, hey, we don't want straws, that we won't eat at KFC.
Yeah.
They made the call to say, okay, maybe it's about cost saving, but they also made the call to say, look, we're going to give up straws. And that, I would think, really reduce the number of straw consumption by a lot lah.
But then I think also because of that, so the company made the first move ma. Then after people realized that, okay, fine lah, I'm dining in, I don't really need a straw or a cover anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, when the first time I heard about the whole straw movement thing, right, I like, then just don't use straw lah.
Yeah.
We really need meh?
By your teeth though.
It never makes sense.
No, but it's
But
like
we-
you drink, you will still swirl around your mouth.
I don't. So I drink very
Direct
Because he's
your
so
throat.
conscious about it.
Yeah.
To me also, because my teeth are very sensitive, right? If the drink is too cold, right, it hurts if I drink directly from the lid.
I won't drink soft
No,
drink
sounds like
without
you need
straw.
to go to dentist instead of destroying the earth.
I feel like we've dug up
Sorry.
like ancient like bones and all that, and then you see the human skull from back in the day, and then you have the full set of teeth.
Oh, that's true.
And we've been doing this for our whole lives. I
But
don't
they
think.
also, they also didn't drink as much sugar, I think.
They also don't have sugar.
Okay lah, fine.
And everything like
Fine.
that's very salty.
Were y'all very confused by how last time when they tell you that the temperature changed by 1 degree, then like wow, the earth was gonna pass away? Like, but cannot be. Like go to my house, I regulate the aircon by 10 degree swings. Like right, we freaking right. Room temperature is freaking 32. And then I jack it down to 20. Like wow, hey sick Like why am I not causing climate change in my house? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It is though. Now your room is cold.
No, wait. So then I mean I went to read out quite a bit, right? And then that one thing that clicked, and this was many years ago when I was like a kid lah. Then the one thing that clicked was about the ocean, about how 70% of the earth is covered in water, and we know more about the surface of Mars and Moon than our ocean. Yeah, and so there's so much water out there, and if they all just increase in size by 1%, then there'll be no more land. In a sense lah.
Wow, scary, yeah.
Yeah,
That's
no, very interesting.
Yeah, okay.
Better learn how to swim. Okay,
Yeah.
climate change.
Wow.
Climate change.
we went down.
Wow,
a
I'm trying to find a
rabbit
people.
Back to topic.
No, okay, so like we are all very aware of this. I think the marketing. I think the social awareness.
That's like young that time
For
people say
climate
marketing,
change.
I keep thinking my mother
Go buy
Go.
fish in the market.
Is that what you do marketing?
No,
Okay,
I think
job
the social awareness for climate change is already like there.
Oh,
We all know the melt
Yeah.
ice at the top gonna melt lah.
Yeah.
So then, like that, right? Do yours in your everyday like day to day, right? Do you actually like do you feel guilty for doing the shit that you do?
All
Like
the
you leave the
time.
aircon on, or like you buy McDonald's and it comes in like three paper bags. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like a plastic box in a paper bag, in a paper bag, in a paper bag.
Then on top of that, they put one plastic bag.
Correct.
No, but I
Wow.
think like going back to the whole idea, I think if you could incentivize everyone economically, it's fine. But to me, I don't feel so like maybe the last whole week I just sleep without aircon on. I slept with a fan. But my thought was that I save on electrical bill instead of like, okay, it's good for the environment.
Yeah.
And I feel like if there's more instances of this, right, I think it's fine. Because like also, so there's another article also on the Straits Times, and it was saying how like the top 2 reasons why people don't adopt like green practices is cost and inconvenience, even though they're all aware of it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
inconvenience.
No, but there are many things as well that more of the things I subscribe to that actually lowers cost and increases convenience that I really do subscribe to. Okay,
Example.
cost not always the case, but convenience yes, right?
Such as-
Like slow fashion.
we wearing clothes.
Yeah, re-wearing clothes.
Yeah.
I am a big fan of that's why all my clothes are always plain.
So like I think a lot of companies are taking this like direction also. Because I remember recently watching a Levi's ad, not sponsored by Levi's, but Levi's ad with Will Smith's son, Jaden Smith. And the whole campaign was how and
Or
it's
the
to their-
unknown one. Okay, oops.
but it's to their benefit because they get to talk about the USPs also. It's called buy better, wear longer. And it's about how like you should be wearing your clothes for longer lah.
That's
Stop
such a
buying
Singaporean
So Singaporean.
yeah.
Sound like Phua Chu Kang can do the same campaign.
But on the
It
note,
shit die young guy. Sorry.
Yeah.
but on the note of like the sustainable fashion, right? So one of the YAC teams actually came up with a solution for that, but it's basically like a carousel, but purely for like clothes that you have worn before,
Right.
and then for other people to wear it. But then when you upload the clothing, then they will like rank your clothing or something, give you some tiers, and then when someone buys your clothing, you get a token that you can later on use to buy other people's stuff.
Right.
So quite interesting.
So you want it to eventually become like a sharing system lah, with
Yeah.
using all the
That is,
tokens.
Like powered by blockchain technology actually.
Perhaps. That's
I'm
how
not sure whether it's
you can go to the website, provide feedback to help improve.
And you know what you can
these
read?
subjects.
An ape.
Like, have you all been to? Sorry, I have to bring this back to supermarkets. Sorry, supermarkets. But have you all been to the more
Vivo.
environmentally friendly, like the sustainable section, right? Everything is so.
Wait, there's such a section.
Yeah.
The
I
organic
think so. Yeah, all the organic
Oh.
stuff. Yeah, or even like if you look in general and the products are like kind of like more eco-friendly one, right? A lot of the times they are more expensive
Yeah.
alternatives also.
Yeah.
Then, like yeah lor, it goes back down to the price lor. Like, am I really gonna pay $2 more for instant noodle that's more sustainable, or just stick with my Indomie, you know?
Or even like fresh produce, because organic tends to look worse. They look like ugly like fruits, right? But then you're going to pay more for it also. But I think at the end of the day, if more people are demanding for these things, then these things can also get cheaper lah. It's because there's no scale yet.
Right.
Not enough people are demanding for it and consuming it. You know what's actually really dangerous, like, or bad for the environment? Buffets. Because there's just so much wastage, I would imagine.
Oh my god, that's exactly. I was thinking on the cruise, right? Like a cruise is so horrible for the environment because like when you're sailing, right, you can see the like black smoke coming out of the top of the I don't know the funnel, the chimney. I don't know what it's called.
Sure.
That you bring up cruise, so like environmental tourism.
Sustainable
tourism is also like a thing. So my vegan friend, right, she also, when she traveled to India, she trained all the way from Malaysia. Just so that she would avoid taking a flight.
Wait, but the train is then the smoke also coming out.
So it only
And then they're shoveling the coal into the thing.
recently, I don't have the numbers for that one, but they recently said that you can take a series of trains from Singapore all the way to Portugal, right?
Yeah.
And even if you do that, it takes up like almost less than 10% of the carbon emissions as it would be a direct flight.
10%,
Yeah.
less than 10%. Wow.
Like a small percentage of it. And
Yeah,
so
but
I would
the
assume
15 days lah. So the amount of food
20
that you consume, the
20
amount of everything else that you do.
But what a trip though.
No more times you charge your handphone.
MJ road tripping 2 years also cannot reach.
Hey, what? Hey, yeah, this one cannot. Yeah.
You use her for content.
No, I don't know. I never talked to her.
Free views.
Have you ever worked in F&B before?
Yes.
It's disgusting.
It's disgusting.
To see the back end and how much food is wasted. Wow.
I used to take out trash of just
Damn
food.
shit.
It's just full of food.
And it's all like, can eat, right? No?
Yeah.
Yeah, just throw.
Actually, sometimes when I take back food and then the customer never touch, right? We're just like,
Okay, I don't know about that.
no,
I
it's
don't
not
know.
really, it's like there's nothing else around it that the
like
person would have
coleslaw.
touched.
Yeah,
This was
yeah.
pre-COVID times when people were a little bit more liberal. Lah.
Right,
Have you
right.
ever tried composting?
No.
It's a very Gwyneth Paltrow thing that, I don't know, it seems very cringy.
I've seen like YouTube videos about it, like this household is like zero waste, that kind, right?
Okay.
It's very unattainable for me.
It's so
personally.
difficult. I actually did it as an experiment before. Yeah, like you're supposed to take all your trash or whatever,
Success.
right? No. It's damn smelly.
First of all, there must be something you're trying to grow first, right?
Yeah.
Because if
Wait, I
you
must grow something from
Actually, no.
composting.
It's just to put it through a cycle so it becomes
Yeah.
fertile and usable soil
Yeah.
to
To?
grow something.
to
But-
grow something. Because if not, then what are you gonna do with fertile soil, right?
Yeah,
But if you
yeah.
don't grow anything, then we start.
Yeah,
Can I sell it?
you're just making shit.
Oh.
Essentially.
No, because
but it's good. It's good for
fertilizer
that.
also not expensive.
Okay, I got a fun
Buy
fact.
your bloody compost.
So did you all know that Singapore, right? Our trash, like our rubbish and all that we throw in HDB or that kind of thing, right? A percentage of it goes into, it gets burned, correct?
Yeah.
And that process, right, actually generates energy to go back and power our houses.
Oh.
Yeah, it creates power.
Yeah.
Like our rubbish create power. Like, wow, blow my mind, yeah.
Singapore actually
Like, damn
really
cool.
not bad.
Yeah, that's super
I
efficient.
think many people don't realize this about power generation, right? Is that what's required when we talk about natural gas or geothermal energy or solar power and whatnot, right? We are just trying to create enough power to boil water. Do you all know that?
Nope.
The whole way that electricity is generated, right, is the small scale down AC model about the magnetic spinning and then cut the waves. You just need the act of spinning to produce electricity.
Right.
What spins it is a turbine. The turbine basically is just a fan system. You boil water, the steam turn the fan.
Yep.
So if you are a slave driver, you can just get like your slaves, right, to just turn it. You also get electricity.
Alright,
It's just that they cannot rest lah.
Yeah.
Or they must always have a seamless transition for break time.
Remember like Mushi? So like we have this friend, right? Then he quite techy and all that kind of thing lah. He carry an umbrella. Whenever he use the umbrella, right, there's like a
Solar power panel.
I've never seen this
It rolls out. Then he just like start charging his shit. So I don't know whether it converts into a power bank or whatever. But even when you go out and it's on the backpack, it's just hang outside. It's just like
That's
energy.
so useful.
No, then I started to really think about it. We are living in the future. Like we are drawing power from the sun.
Yeah.
I look out my window, right? The school, the whole rooftop now suddenly shiny. It's all solar panel. Wow.
There's
The
this
sun
company
gives
as well
us-
that's trying to
The
create.
sun is the god.
Yes.
He's trying to create electricity from static like the tongue.
Oh my god, that's like Neo and Trinity. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, and so the end product is a device that just recharges itself unlimitedly. But right now it's just slow.
Right.
No, so I was watching Linus Tech Tips, right? And so what he did was that for one of his colleague has a boat, and so he wanted to completely techify the whole like boat, right? And everything is just powered by solar.
Right.
Because there's this thing that you can buy now. It's called a jackery. It's basically a generator. Then okay. Then you plug it into a whole like series of pads, right? That you just put around that has the sun. You can essentially power up your entire house just with the entire solution.
There was something like that also. Was it Elon Musk trying to build it also, right?
The solar thing, yeah.
Every home will have just this thing and you'll power everything.
The roof tiles, those brown tiles, it ends up being solar panels.
Yeah.
And if I'm not wrong, they have gotten to the point where they managed to sell electricity back to the grid.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah. And also like I think we've been importing energy from Australia or something like that. So like wind farms in Australia, then you connect cable all the way.
There's a
under
cable
the sea.
from here to Australia.
Hey, how do you think the internet works?
All the internet also is like under the sea cables.
Huh? I thought it's go to the satellite.
I thought it's sky.
No, there's a internet grid lah.
Huh?
That's why I think there was one time I can't remember whether it was fissures or what. Like between I think was it near Taiwan or something like that. Like the one part of the world had no internet because the wire broke.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Who? Wait, who maintained the wires like that?
They need to go and fix all. So it's quite interesting. Like they'll build up like 4 walls, right? Then after that they'll pump out all the water.
Yeah.
Fix it.
Okay, so it's inside like
Underground.
a tunnel thing. It's like
Yeah, but it's frequently destroyed by trawlers lah.
right.
Trawlers.
Damn those trawlers.
Oh, it's just poor design.
Yeah.
Keep
They're like
getting
let's just drop.
So we blame Singtel, but it's actually like miles on the ocean bed.
It's actually your
He's like-
uncle.
No, but the main is that you don't get a lot of energy loss because it's so cold down there. So nothing gets like the heat, right? It's actually quite well ventilated.
Hey, but not if there's global warming and our ocean temperatures are rising, guys.
So at the end of the day, we need to be more environmentally
In order to have
friendly.
better internet, guys.
You still get energy loss though. Let's just cut that out. No point correcting.
Are there any other
Solutions.
aspects to climate change, like being more environmentally friendly?
So I read this quite interesting article talking about the second order effects of climate change. So they talk about how there are a lot of what is scary about climate change is not whatever we know, but it's all the effects that we don't really know that will happen because of the temperature rise and everything. So for example, like migration, all this kind of thing, right, we cannot predict.
Right.
Oh, okay.
And then so
Right,
that's
like
quite
bird migratory patterns change,
or
then
even
the
humans.
floral
Yeah, correct.
growth
correct.
changes. Ooh,
Correct. So
then
because
bees
everything
die,
is
then bees
linked-
die, humans die. Everybody knows that.
The what do you call it? The butterfly effect. So there's this project in this season of YAC that is actually trying to solve this by using insects to feed livestock. Because I think the biggest there's a lot of different environmental issues, but one of it is to create enough food for cows.
Hey, really?
Yeah.
Shit.
So then, if you use insects, that might make it a little bit more sustainable. I'm gonna look into the website to read it.
If I'm not wrong, the project was that they used the insects to break down the trash and like whatever. Like the
Oh,
insects
there's
can
also
consume. Then after that, then they move it into the next part of the process where they reuse the insects to feed
Chicken feed.
or to use as like other things lah. Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So they're producing sustainable insect protein and fertilizer to help with the farming industry. So they're called insect feed technologies, right? They are currently conducting trial insect-based animal feed for dried, high nutrition and sustainable line of pet food products.
Are they
And also livestock also, yeah.
My dog has to eat insects.
No, it doesn't have to but this is a more sustainable way of.
But there's probably insects in kibbles.
Yeah, lor, like,
in
like,
what?
okay,
In
what?
kibbles?
Yeah.
What's kibbles?
Like the dry food, dry pet
Dog
food.
cereal.
Right. Okay.
Why is like
I thought it was like pedigree.
Yeah, pedigree is the brand of kibble.
Oh right. I think so. We come back to it, right? Like we talk about the cost and convenience. I think at the end of the day, people can only make. I think the majority of people can only make that lifestyle change when it doesn't feel different from your daily life. Which is okay. I'm going to bring this up. Tesla. If we look at Tesla, right, Daren's favorite company, like what they were able to do, like for the longest time, electric vehicles had the bad reputation of you losing out. You were compromising in order to buy an electric vehicle. It was more expensive and much slower. But you get to a stage now where it's either the same price as a normal car, sometimes even cheaper, with even better performance than like a ICE car, right? Petrol car. Then it's so easy to suddenly be environmentally friendly.
Just need to make it cool.
Yeah.
So we are just in the transitional phase. We're waiting until it can become the norm for everybody lah.
I would think so. You need enough visionaries to also believe it, like Elon Musk did in that vision to drive. Cool.
Singapore's Tesla car, the butt them ugly, yeah. Just saying.
Tesla's
Maybe we got different butts.
No, we have a different model in Singapore. It's not the wing one, ma.
No, like we have the Model 3, the Model X, the Model Y, but it's all the same.
It's all the same.
They started with the Model 3, which is the most basic one now.
In Singapore, there are only a couple models you can buy, but there are many Teslas in Singapore that are parallel imported. There's just the rest.
But there are 4 models, essentially, that spells sexy.
But I thought it's so weird how like
Your
Teslas
mic
are
too
very
low.
Teslas are so common now, right? That it's so odd.
Right.
Like it becomes like a
common now that
normal.
it's so odd.
No, because it's such a normal car. Like
Yeah.
I imagine it as like a Ferrari kind of thing. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
it's rare
I
to own it.
remember the first time I saw a Tesla and then she opened the hood to show me what's under, like, honestly, the engine line, right?
Oh, I thought you were
Tesla,
referring to the car as a she.
Oh no, she is the owner, right? Why girls cannot own Tesla? Okay.
Hey.
Hey, then open the hood, nothing. It's
Yeah.
trunk space. What the heck? No engine, mate.
Which also means that you don't have to go to you don't have to regularly service it like you would for an engine car. Which is quite
I think for the longest time, humanity has been trying to tackle climate change by asking us what are we willing to sacrifice.
yes.
And I think technology has leapfrogged and caught up to an intersection whereby right now we are at the point whereby we are looking at how can we incentivize and make it better and easier for everybody to go greener without sacrificing, without the trade-offs.
Yeah.
And like Tesla's one of it.
Yeah. It really helped to really switch that mindset. You're
Or
not
like slow fashion.
compromising.
Hey guys, stop buying clothes already. The only
Yeah.
reason people keep buying clothes, right, is because other people are also buying clothes. It's so stupid. We are drowning ourselves going to debt,
Yeah.
spending a lot of our money to egg each other on.
I cannot understand. I cannot understand the like I only buy clothes once a year.
Yeah.
It's like Chinese New Year. And to me it's like it's fine.
I have like the Fire Airism t-shirt, then just wear forever.
Nice. Or just do what all the entrepreneurs do lah, which is like Mark Zuckerberg. He just buys the same
Yeah, exactly.
5 sets of the same clothes. 7.
Is climate change like a young people thing? Your thing?
I think so.
Gen Z.
Gen Z?
I feel like actually quite a lot of my friends are involved. Yeah, like I got one friend that started this Instagram account called No Carrier Please, right? Then she was quite at the forefront of my
Wow.
circle lah, like my age groups, like stop using the disposable straws or disposable plastic bags, and everyone start carrying their totes and stuff.
Because of her.
I think so. Like
Oh.
a lot of people follow her account and stuff, right? Then they're like inspired by that law. So I have quite a few friends also that started like bring their own lunchbox. Still, actually, currently still bring their own cups for coffee, that kind of stuff.
Are they pretentious about it though? Like are they like
Showy.
using my cup to buy coffee
No,
today?
no.
That kind of thing. 'Cause I'm so
Quite low
sustainable.
key. Don't really try to influence me. That kind also.
So
Right,
why
right.
yourself as being part of the generation, right?
Why am I so disposable? I just value convenience above intangible things that I cannot see now lah.
Yeah.
You really think that, man? You really think that, man? Like,
There are no effects of climate change.
yeah.
No, I believe that there are lah, but I just cannot my mind cannot comprehend it. It's like when someone says it's as cold as on Mars. Then I don't know how cold is Mars lah. If you tell me it's as cold as an ice cube, then I know lah.
No, okay. So right now, right, you are trying to accumulate wealth and get retire early, and you have all these goals, right,
Yeah.
financially. But if 10 years from now, right, you continue the way you're living, right?
Yeah.
10 years from now, even if you manage to get that, you won't have a world to spend it in.
But I was happy getting there.
Okay lor, then you win lor.
Okay.
Hey John, do you know that this is the last episode that we're doing in collaboration with the National Youth Council?
Hopefully not the last.
Hopefully not. So it's just for this campaign, which is the Youth Action Challenge. It's been going for a few seasons now, and for this season, teams are coming together to pick their brains and come up with solutions for societal problems like the topic for today, which is the environment and sustainability. And you can also get involved. John, do you know how?
You can go to the website and submit opinions and suggestions to help them improve the idea.
Exactly.
For example, what you're already doing in the comment section for previous episodes, right? Go put it there, and then you stand a chance to win
an iPad.
Yeah, boy.
So the links are down below. Go check that out. Also, share, like, and subscribe this video. We'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.